Hi everyone, welcome to another render demo, how to draw video tutorial. Today we'll be showing you how to draw the woolly mammoth. So let's get started. So here I'm going to start drawing the main part of the body up towards the right and create this kind of like this rectangular shape. It's going to be somewhat lower on the left side and higher on the right side. And then for the next step we'll start with the head that's on the right side. And we'll start with this kind of like this C shape for the ear, and it has a large ear similar to like an elephant, of course. So it's gonna have this large shape, and then over in the front has the trunk's gonna kind of come down and kind of hook back towards the left. So we'll kind of extend this down, and we'll try to make sure that it's not like super long. So if you take this circular shape where the head is here, and then almost like in the center, kind of draw a line, this imaginary line down, we'll kind of have the trunk kind of hook back over to that direction. And then the trunk is wider at the top, and then as it gets down towards the base, it tapers slightly. Not to an exact point, but pretty narrow at the bottom. Okay, for the next step, we'll extend the back leg. So we'll go right off of the back of the body, and we'll kind of hook this over down to the left. And notice right here where the bottom of the trunk is, the base of the trunk, we don't want to be our legs too far beyond that point. So if you just go below the trunk a little bit and draw this kind of imaginary ground line here, that'll give you kind of like where the legs, the feet are going to be, where their positions are going to be. So here the back leg is kind of like in this walking position, so it can be tilted up a little bit, and the front part of that foot is going to be kind of pointed and touching the ground. So kind of hook this part in, and then watch how wide this distance is here. You don't want it to be too narrow, because these creatures have larger bodies, so they need a lot more width at the base of their legs to kind of hold them up. So this line here will taper towards the body up on the right, and then for the front leg, we'll come off of the chest here, and then we'll like extend this part down a little bit. Kind of tapers down towards the left, and then about like halfway down, we'll hook this a little bit more vertical, and then we'll flare this out. And if you go past the line, it's okay. You can go a little bit past it, it's fine. And then this lower part will be bent and curved just a little bit. And then we'll draw the main part of the leg, trying to keep with the width of the back leg. And we can kind of finish the heel part of the leg there. And then up here we'll flare this because it gets a little bit wider at the top, just like that. All right, now to draw in the husks, we'll create the part that kind of enters the head, or where they kind of come out of the head. So we'll create this like U shape, angled towards the bottom right in that direction. And then these husks are going to come straight out of there. So if I draw like a center line here, it's going to kind of come straight out, and it's going to have a little bit of a bend, and it's going to hook up quickly, and then point back towards the head itself. So here, it's kind of like this, almost like this hook shape, J shape. And then once you have that center line drawn in, you can go on either side of that line, and remembering that it's wider where it enters the head, and then it gets narrower and narrower as you go along and get to the end where it's going to be pointy. Okay, so now we'll draw the other side, the husk on the other side. So this one will be a little bit lower. So I'm going to draw the point part here, and I'm just going to hook similar to the other husk shape, and we notice the points are here, and then we'll kind of go where it's pointier, and then it's going to widen and kind of hide behind the mammoth's trunk shape. Next, we'll draw in the eye. So we'll draw a little circle towards the right side. So if you draw kind of like the circle, that's the center. So we're going to go up towards the right just a little bit. And we'll draw this like circular shape. And then we'll have this like little bend in the head here, kind of comes in, and then the hair is going to kind of, the top of the head is going to have this hair shape that kind of pulls out. Okay, now we'll draw in the bottom back leg. So this one's behind the mammoth, so we're just going to see a portion of it. And this one's going to be kind of straight up, similar to the front leg. So it's going to be a straight up position, and we'll draw this in kind of towards the back part of the body. And then next we'll go up to the front and draw the leg that's on the back side of the mammoth. And this one's going to be in a bent position, so it's almost like in this walking stance. So this one's going to be kind of bent up off of the ground and kind of pointed forward a bit. Here we'll draw these hair shapes in here on the head. And then we'll go to the back and create the tail. So the mammoth's going to have this shorter tail, and it's going to kind of come right off of the top of the back here. And it's just going to be a little wider at the top, but come right off of this back area, and it's going to kind of hook a little bit curved towards the left. It's not going to be perfectly straight, but have a little bit of a bend to it. Okay, so next we'll kind of define a few of these lines here and then erase some of the unwanted lines right now. And then next I'll grab my black ink pen and we'll ink the mammoth in. Now I want to add some extra details, so I'm going to grab this other black ink pen. It has like a little, almost like a paintbrush, and I'm going to try to create like these hair shapes where they're like thick to thin. And this ink pen is really cool because it allows you to have these like thick to thin shapes. So I'm going to kind of fill those in, and we'll be right back. Okay, and then we'll grab some yellows for the husks, and then some browns for the body and the hair of the mammoth, and we'll color this in. And then after drawing this kind of shadow line on the ground with this lighter kind of beige color, I'm going to use a black Prismacolor pencil and add a little bit of shading throughout, just to give it some little bit of depth. So things that are farther away or maybe under other shapes are going to be a little bit darker. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then I like using this white ink pen that gives me these highlights. So we'll go and add some highlights to the tusk and kind of pick off some of the hairs that are kind of reflecting from the light source. And this always adds some nice detail. So I'm using this ink pen rather than a Prisma pencil because this just shows up better on the paper that I'm using. And it's a lot more brighter and thinner and more delicate of a shape, since the mammoth has hairs that I want to try to call out. So hopefully you like this video tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking that button down below. And we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.